doing out there? Let me get this lens straight, this camera. Uh-oh, I told you, your boy's getting nice at this. I'm getting good at that. I done did it over 312 times. How y'all doing this morning? That's right, y'all. It's August the 12th. It's Wednesday. Hump day. Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Tuesday. I had to check real quick because you know Bugatti, I don't sleep that much, so I don't know what day it is, so I apologize. It's Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025. Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, why are we negotiating with a monster? That's just a question that I had. I just wanted to know. Why are we negotiating with a monster? You guys got any questions about that? I do. I got a lot in the clip today. We're going to get it going, and yes. Whew. Let's get to it. We got a few seconds to wait. Make sure my hair is straight and everything. Get that tie good. Make sure, let's pull that mic up some, because we know he takes a little while, right? How y'all doing? Who we got up in here? I see we got Casey up in here already. We got Batty Lynn already up in here. Liberty and Justice. We got Minnie up in here. Hope everybody's good. What's up, Sky? Y'all ready? I'm ready to go. Yeah, it's time to start the show. Hope you're ready, yo. That's right, bro. Okay, it's on you. Tell us what you want to do so we can click to click. Let's know. Let's go. Bling, bling, bling. All right. Come on, buddy. Come on. You can do it. Yeah. What? And let's open up those pores. Let's open up those pores. I know this one off the top of my head right here. You know why? Because hey, dirty, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. I said, hey, baby, I got your dirty. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money. R.I.P. to ODB. Y'all know what it is. Wu-Tang forever, y'all. Pump that beat. It's Tuesday, August 12th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line. Where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that. Where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me lit. That's right, y'all. Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025. I finally got it right. I told you guys I'm like Dracula because the man never sleeps. He's so busy making content, so busy sequencing and making sure that 6 o'clock pops. How you guys doing? Let me see who's in the building right now. Who do we got up in here? We got Lon Yen up in the building. That is Rebecca Lon Yen Bueno from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Who else we got up in the building right now? We got Casey up in the building. We got Liberty and Justice up in this building. Who else do we have up in here? That's right, Sky. How you doing, Sky? I see everybody that got their glove. Everybody's ready. Everybody ready to get it going. They see they got the sun pictures up. And let me tell you something. When it comes to you guys, y'all are what makes my sun come out. I don't care whatever type of day I'm having. I could be having a terrible day, but once it's time to press that button at 6 o'clock, everything changes and it's all go time. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know what I'm about to do, right? That's right. We got a fully loaded clip right now. I can't wait to get into it, you guys. We got a lot to get into. That's right. I got tariffs because you see I'm wearing the green today. We got to go into Maxwell. We've got to get into Giuffre Epstein, of course. We got so much on that. You guys really may want to stick around for what we got on that because you know it gets real once we get in the field. What else we got over here? I'm talking about, you know what? Instead of doing it like that, what we always say, let's get into these titles. Let's go. Let's get in over here and do it, y'all. We have Trump, like I said, Ghislaine Maxwell. Why are we negotiating with a monster? That's my question. I made that title right there because I really want to know as we stack this deck for the last about 10 to 12 days, I've had that question. Why are we negotiating? Why is she went to a minimum security prison? Why has she been able to go to this place when she's caused so much trauma and terrible things to so many people? I'm gonna keep on moving forward because we got other things in the title as well. We've got an ICE facility that was stormed in Portland, Oregon, and the feds took cover and opened fire from the roof. This was a real situation. You guys right here, we have the footage. It's getting pretty crazy out there for ICE and Homeland officials. Got to tell you guys, last but not least, what we have on the board here is South Philadelphia woman who describes a chaotic scene after a cruise ship, the water slide breaks. So imagine you're on a cruise ship and there's a water slide, right? But there's many tubes that connect throughout this water slide. Some areas of this tubing is clear. Oh yeah, as one man was coming through, part of the plexiglass gave way, and yeah, real bad situation, guys. We've got the video, and without any further ado, I've got so much in the clip, I gotta get to work. So what am I gonna say? I'm gonna say, I got 5 on it. I'm gonna stack 5 videos at a time. You guys probably do me a favor and stay on topic. And then also, what do I always say? Do me a favor, let me know where you're chiming in from. Love to know what time it is, where you're at. Hopefully I can get to all of the comments because we've been getting a lot of traffic here, which is fantastic. I really love to listen to all of the comments and make sure that I get you guys comments out, but sometimes I miss. You may want to super chat. This way I can see it. That probably helps. Let's keep on moving forward because right now I'm going to get into this right here where we've got Janine Pirro who issues a warning to the young punks in DC, and they're basically saying that they're going to change the laws in DC because of what's going on now. So already the president of the United States, our President Trump, has already taken over Washington, D.C., and here's what they're doing as well.
I mean, this was a D.C. news conference. It tells me that you want to talk about crime in D.C. and beautification of D.C., but I'm going to put that's easy. And I think, frankly, fixing the crime with the pros, fixing the crime is easy, too. A person who I've known for a long time, and she's been incredible. She was a fantastic, one of the best ever district attorneys in New York. She was in Westchester, and she became a judge, very successful judge. And then she went into show business because she was such a good DA and such a good judge, tough judge, but fair, always fair. Nobody ever complained about that, but she was tough. And because of that and her reputation, she went into show business. So a lot of people don't, they think of Janine as show business. Actually, show business was not her thing. It was, and she did great. She was on, along with a couple of other of my friends, on the #1 show. And she did great, but this is what she loves doing. This is really her baby. What she's going to do is going to be incredible. And I'd like to speak for just a few seconds on what she has in mind, what she wants to do. We're going to be appointing some judges. We have some open spots, and we're going to take people because the judges are letting killers out. They just say, go. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
So as of yesterday, DC has been federalized.
We're putting some Pam recommended, Todd recommended, some judges that are great. Janine recommended. Janine's given me 3 great candidates already. We have about 10 open spots, and we can probably create some more. We need them. Janine, would you say a few words, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Madam Attorney General, and to all my partners here. We all want the same thing. We all want a safe city. We want a safe capital. We want to be able to bring our families here. We want to be able to come and enjoy the history that makes this place great. And unfortunately, we are not in that position right now. And Mr. President, I want to thank you for taking the step that we need right now to make criminals understand that they are not going to get away with it anymore. And I'm not going to stand here and go over and over the cases. But what I can tell you is this. I see too much violent crime being committed by young punks who think that they can get together in gangs and crews and beat the hell out of you or anyone else. They don't care where they are. They can be in DuPont Circle, but they know that we can't touch them. Why? Because the laws are weak. I can't touch you if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you have a gun. I convict someone of shooting another person with an illegal gun on a public bus in the chest, intent to kill. I convict him. And you know what the judge gives him? Probation. Says you should go to college. We need to go after the DC Council and their absurd laws. We need to get rid of this concept of, no cash bail. We need to recognize that the people who matter are the law-abiding citizens. And it starts today. But it's not going to end today, because the president is going to do everything we need to do to make sure that these emboldened criminals understand we see you, we're watching you, and we're going to change the law to catch you. And my final note is this. These kids understand that the jurisdiction is through the state attorney general, Brian Schwab. I did a poster of the young man from Doge who was beaten bloody with a severe concussion, a broken nose. And then I did a poster of what happens to those kids, because I can't arrest them, I can't prosecute them. They go to family court and they get to do yoga and arts and crafts. Enough. It changes today. Thank you, Mr. President. You're welcome.
Great job. Thank you.
All right, so now Illinois, they're not just doing that in Washington, D.C. He is now about to he's working on ending cashless bail in Illinois. As you know, this stuff is going to start spreading to other states because they already federalized, like I said, D.C. So let's go.
While announcing what he calls a crime crackdown in the nation's capital today, President Donald Trump also set his sights on Chicago.
He says we are next when it comes to National Guard deployment, and he wants to end the no cash bail policy. Our Charlie DeMar is always investigating, talking to experts about the president's options here, Charlie.
And Joe and Erica, the president says he will bring back cash bail here in Illinois. The Safety Act eliminated the bail system statewide, no longer requiring people to pay to get out of jail before trial. But legal experts say President Trump doesn't have the ability to change state law.
Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago.
President Donald Trump once again singled out Chicago, this time for the state's decision to eliminate cash bail. The law that went into effect in 2023 is meant to prevent people arrested for nonviolent or low-level crimes from being held in jail simply because they don't have enough money to make bail.
By the way, every place in the country where you have no cash bail is a disaster.
As usual, he got the facts wrong.
The Illinois Network for Pretrial Justice advocates for reducing pretrial incarceration
To make sure that community members know how the system actually works.
and educates people on what it means to eliminate cash bail. Now a judge determines whether to release someone after they've been accused of a crime, opposed to setting a price for their pretrial release. Matthew.
Well, I guess that could go both ways, because you could look at it like this. If you got the money, no matter what you do, you can get out. So you could look at it like that. So, but then again, if it's like now you can commit a crime, and then you can still get out. So what's going on here? So no matter what you do, you can get out, huh? Get out. That's the new version of get out right there. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen to get those likes up, because we're going to keep on moving, because the U.S. military now begins operations to dismantle the cartels. That's right, y'all. We going to the cartels. Let's go to their side of the border and let's get busy. No longer are they going to be enforcing the issue on this side. It's not just a police issue, it's a national threat. So let's get into it, you guys. I want to stack this deck. I'm trying to cover a lot of different topics on a lot of different areas to make sure that everybody here gets the news that they want. Border, tariffs, everything. Let's get everybody filled today.
We have to start treating them as armed terrorist organizations. We have to start treating them as armed terrorist organizations, not simply drug dealing organizations.
It is the latest escalation in the Trump administration's battle to topple Latin American drug cartels. The administration now preparing for the possibility of using military force against them. U.S. officials confirming this escalation in policy months after the administration designated the Sinaloa cartel and several others as foreign terrorist organizations. News Nation correspondent Jorge Ventura joining us live in San Antonio with this. Jorge, can you help break down what this change in policy means in the fight against the cartel?
Hey, Natasha. Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the Trump administration will target drug cartels the same way they target terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS and will deploy resources. And now we do know that the U.S. military has been given the green light to strike cartels on foreign soil. And all this comes as the U.S. military continues to expand their military operations here on the southern border.
He said on
We cannot continue
soil.
to just treat these guys as local street gangs. They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists, in some cases armies have. They control territory in many cases. So what it changes is it gives us legal authorities to target them in ways you can't do if they're just a bunch of criminals. It's no longer a law enforcement issue. It becomes a national security issue.
Now, that approach is playing out on the ground. National defense areas already stretch across more than 500 miles of borderland in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. Troops in these zones can detain migrants and charge them with federal crimes, part of a deployment that's already grown to over 7,600 service members along the border.
But it allows us to now target what they're operating and to use other elements of American power, intelligence agencies, the Department of Defense, whatever.
And this isn't the first time the idea of military action against cartels has been floated. Former Defense Secretary Mark Esper wrote in his book that during President Trump's first term, he asked about targeting cartel leaders directly, even on foreign soil. Back in February, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that all options are on the table when it comes to dismantling these cartels, though other Trump administration officials have said they prefer Mexico handle the issue first.
And they have not really cleared. I don't know if Mexico has actually already cleared them to go over there yet, because last I heard, Brunel, what's her name? I don't know her name. I'm sorry. The president, she was really not going for it. She said, I don't know about that. Y'all coming over here. Because also she has to worry about them cartels getting at her. We got Willie Wacky Guy, $4 challenge on Bless This Man with a super chat today. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Yes, let's get those super chats up. If you guys appreciate the content, double tap that screen to get the likes up. That gets more people over here to get aware of the show. That's what we really would like to do. Some more subscribers, some more members. Double tap that screen to get those likes up and hit that notification bell so that you can know when we're on. We got the #1 co-host in the country, and of course I'm the #1 host from the 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock hour, and sometimes we go over. That's what the plus is about. Our bottom line, this is our show. We do what we want. That's right, you guys. You can even email me at bridgethisllc@gmail.com. Give me show ideas. Tell me, Bugatti, what's going on over here? You missing this part. I do that. I pay attention to you guys. Let's keep on moving forward, because now we got to get to Portland, where this ICE facility was stormed, and by 10 protesters. The feds fired back at them, and it was banging from the rooftop. I'm hoping that this was rubber bullets. I almost got messed up that way, because I have to be very careful about the way that I speak. I can let them say things, but I basically can't say it. So let me get to that right there. I apologize about that. I think I'm out of line right here. Let me find that, because I want to make sure that we get into what I just spoke about, because that is something that I want to get right to. So let me give me 1 second. You guys be patient with me for 1 second. I know, it happens sometimes. It's out of line right now, but I said that, so I want to make sure that I get that up right there. So give me 1 second, because we do have it. I know we got it. Oh man. All right, so I'm gonna find it, and then I gotta keep moving. So I gotta keep moving, like sometimes we have to do. I gotta keep moving. I'm gonna give you guys some energy though. Let me give you this. We got a situation right here where we got I'm gonna give you this. We got a dramatic pursuit in the Bronx where we got a CRT catches a suspect after a wild chase. This right here is pretty crazy. I'm gonna go to this and I'm gonna find that other thing that I made a mistake on. I apologize for that. We got a dramatic Bronx pursuit where NYPD CRT catches a suspect while it's in a wild chase. I'm gonna go find that other thing. Like I said, I owe you that. I apologize. Now, what I do remember about this clip is I don't understand why all of the extra people are there and what those other people are doing. Why y'all running inside while the police are chasing this person? And then, of course, we got the female sister Karens that's running inside the clip like, oh, no, don't do that. Do this. No. people always getting involved nowadays. I noticed that a lot. People get involved with the police pursuits, and it's like you got to watch out for the person that you're chasing as a police officer, as well as the crowd that forms around whatever you're doing. Sorry about the siren. Yeah, thank you. So now they got the dude down on the ground over there, of course, and then you got everybody else around dealing with it. This is what actually is going on in all the cities now because, of course, nobody likes the cops. I'm a black man. I don't like the way that they treat certain people or whatever, but it's funny how sometimes when you need them, they're okay to call. But when it's time for them to really take somebody down for a crime, everybody's peed off. And then you got free Lil Ray and free this person t-shirts going on when the guy actually claps somebody. That's the part that I don't understand. So, yeah, CRT. So I don't know what he did or whatever like that, but yeah, ain't get beat up or nothing. But sometimes when you commit the crime, you got to do the time. Keep your head up. How they said, y'all? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Keep your head up. And yeah, this was a day ago. Check this out. I got it now.
Shattering it in a flash of chaos. 4 federal officers were hurt in the melee. Then it got real. Federal officers, on the ground and even from the rooftop, fired crowd control munitions. Tear gas.
And now I remember why I took this clip out of the lineup, but I didn't take it out of the edit. Because it was a month ago and I didn't want to report it. Now I remember. That's what happened. I took it out of the lineup, but I didn't see, because sometimes if I don't take it out of the lineup, if I take it out the lineup and I don't take it out of the edit, I'll still read it. Made a mistake, you guys. Now we can keep on going forward because I know where I'm at with it. We got to go to Israel because Trump it says the U.S. We got this intel office situation going on in Israel. We back with our lineup now. Now I know what happened. We actually took that out of the lineup because we didn't want to do anything with it. So now, yes, I see we got a situation here. Okay, let's go. We got to come back to New York real quick. Ooh, I got to take over this whole situation right here. Thank you, Apple Spell Check. New York, Cuomo attacks Mamdani over his rent-stabilized apartment. Mayor Adams is our current mayor. Former Governor Cuomo is trying to become the mayor. These guys are going back and forth. Mamdani, Adams, everybody. Oh, I'm gonna get it, y'all. I got this right now. I got it. I know where I'm at with it right now. Let's go. And Cuomo basically attacked Mamdani. You know why? Because he's living in a rent-stabilized house. And Cuomo said to him, if you're really serious about taking care of people, why don't you move out of that apartment and let some other people stay there? Oh, you didn't think he was going to find out that you were living in a rent-stabilized apartment, Mr. Millionaire Mamdani? I told you, we on point now. I got it. I'm ready. I got it locked and loaded. We back on sync. I know what happened. Let's go.
And as the contentious race for New York City mayor that barrels forward, eyes are falling on Governor Kathy Hochul for her endorsement.
Good days, Briella.
Oh, you messed up. That's not the one. Oh, yeah, we got to go back over here. I saw the color and I thought that was it. You got me. Let's go.
Well, she's yet to signal.
Oh, no. Yeah, I see what's going on.
I said he joins us right
Really
now, and good to see you, first of all.
Yeah.
You know, the governor is drawn.
No. Worked with 2 different mayors of New York. Interview it happened on Fox News Sunday. Hochul refraining from direct
Not stabilized.
of millionaires. Cuomo is now proposing a law that last Mamdani.
I think it's not just Democrats who say.
Meanwhile, independent mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo took a moment at yesterday's Dominican Day parade to blast Mamdani. Cuomo criticized the Democrat for living in a rent-stabilized apartment in Queens, which he says is for people struggling to pay rent, not for the children of millionaires. Cuomo is now proposing a law that would target who gets those apartments, and he's calling on Mamdani to move out and give it to an unhoused family.
Rent-stabilized units, when they're vacant, should only be rented to people who need affordable housing.
All right,
Not
all right.
people like Zoran Mandami.
Okay.
And I'm going to call it Zoran's Law because it's an abuse of the system.
A spokesperson for Mamdani responded to Cuomo's comments with a fiery statement reading in part, if Mr. Cuomo really cared for working people in New York City, he'd commit today to reimburse the taxpayers the $60 million we're spending on his personal legal defense, which could pay for thousands of affordable housing units instead of probing the gynecological records of women he harassed. And at 9 o'clock, happening right now as we...
Nope, we got to go over to Kathy Hochul now because I got to make up for a whole bunch of messing up I just did. We got to get up to Kathy Hochul right now because that's the governor. She has not decided on who she wants to endorse. She hasn't gotten behind anybody as of yet. And you know how we feel about Kathy Hochul. To be honest with you, doesn't even really matter who she gets behind because she's not even doing the job that she's supposed to do anyway. Again, you guys apologize for the hiccups, but it happens. We got the lineup together. Let's keep on going. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding. It doesn't go perfect every day. Things happen. But remember what I say all the time. Problems present opportunities. And sometimes when you're running for that train door, if you keep on running, you basically keep on and you might get through. So that's what we're doing right now. We're running for that train door and we're hoping that it don't close and we make it through. That's what we're doing right now. And I'm the captain of the ship.
All right, we start this Monday with Governor Kathy Hochul. She's yet to signal just who she'll be endorsing in the upcoming mayoral election.
It comes as mayoral hopeful Andrew Cuomo blasts rival candidate Zoran Mamdani over his living situation. Good Day's Briella Tomasetti joins us now live with the details. Good morning, Briella.
Good morning, Tina and Kurt. So during a Sunday talk show interview, Governor Hochul declined to endorse Democratic New York City mayoral nominee Zoran Mamdani. Hochul's remarks, well, they come after Mamdani praised her for standing up to President Trump over a national redistricting battle in which the GOP is fighting to pick up seats ahead of midterm elections. In that interview happening on Fox News Sunday, Hochul refrained from directly throwing her support behind the Democratic Socialist, instead saying that she's worked with 2 different mayors of New York City already and will continue to cooperate with whoever the voters elect. Hochul has spoken out against Mamdani's proposals to hike taxes on millionaires and corporations, to fund subsidized childcare, fare-free buses, housing expansion, and government-run grocery stores. But she did say she agrees on his focus of tackling the affordability crisis.
So those are 2 points that I wanted to cover. I did want to make sure we got out the fact that we do have the mayoral race coming up. I wanted to make sure we got out the fact that Cuomo's basically calling him out for the rent-stabilized home. And after that, the fact that Governor Kathy Hochul is not supporting him, or let's just say has not endorsed him yet. Now we can keep on moving. Detroit, come on to the front of the building, and I apologize for the mistake. We good now. Robbery gone wrong leaves a 15-year-old and pow to Dill's neck. When I do that, I have to. They can say those specific words. I can't. So in Detroit, we have a 15-year-old. Yeah, we have the youngest of the young now that are committing these situations right now. So this is a robbery gone wrong. I'm not even going to say that word. That leaves a 15-year-old no longer alive. Let's get into it, you guys. Terrible situation. Let's go.
Now, police are still investigating, but they believe it may have started out as an attempted robbery. Fox 2's Camila Miri joins us now live to talk about all of this. You know, it is a strange situation, and you're talking about someone so young. We hate to report on things like this.
Yeah, it really is. We're outside Detroit Police Headquarters. So let's talk about what happened. Let's break this down because it is unusual. Of course, they didn't really realize exactly what happened until they started to piece this together. But I do want to show you some video. Of course, this video was taken today. But I want you to see where it happened so you can get your eyes on it. But this actually happened last night around 11 o'clock. Detroit police say that this 15-year-old, it was around on Hendricks near East Verner on the east side of Detroit, near East Verner, that he attempts to rob a guy in his 20s. And then the guy in his 20s shoots and kills the 15-year-old. Of course, it took a moment to try and piece all this together. They have this fatality, and then they figured out some more things. And this is coming from the captain who was on scene. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Deceased was found approximately 4 blocks east. Another individual standing next to the deceased. He was also taken into custody. At this point, it appears it's been a robbery gone bad.
Self-defense. Self-defense. That's all that I could say, you guys. It's a terrible situation. Self-defense. This guy tried to rob somebody. And again, that's what we're seeing. And the sad part about it, what did they just say? 15 years old. Definitely had better options. Could have been a basketball player or much more. Could have learned how to do stuff like this. Go online and just go just like this and go live. Have a stream going on. Because guess what we like? They like games. They like different things about sneakers. There's so many things that he could have been doing besides the robbery. Because guess what? Could have really made more money doing something online than doing something stupid like that. I tell the kids all the time outside doing nonsense. All this time you out here throwing bricks at the precinct. That's what we call it back in my day. Throwing bricks at the precinct. Because after a while, you're going to get a reaction. That's what we call it. Instead of throwing bricks at the precinct, you should be trying to do something else. Get some money up out here. Real talk. All of these guys out there doing whatever they're doing, right? You can actually go online and make more money just going viral or just talking about something, streaming, talking about food. But yeah, okay. We got to get over to the Bronx right now in New York, where we got this ex-trafficking ring. I can't say that word. Targeting teenagers for this 6 in the Bronx. They're targeting for 6, and I'm so glad that they got locked up, and won't let them out. Or when you get caught up for something like this, and they got him for over 100 instances, and guess where he was doing the promotions at, y'all? I'm gonna tell you. Remember that little love app that's called Tagged, that many of you might have an account on? Tagged. Oh yeah, it's illegal. So check this out. And he got nice, and he got those one-size-fits-all bracelets, those silver bracelets. They're one size fits all for everybody. I'm glad he got them though.
A disturbing sex trafficking ring uncovered in the Bronx. 10 people now facing charges for their involvement that included the exploitation of a teenager. Thanks for joining us here on News 12 The Bronx, where local matters. I'm Marissa Santorelli. News 12's Heather Fordham has the exclusive details on how they use social media to prey on their victims and shares the warning signs people should look out for.
Inside a hotel room off the New England Thruway is where a 16-year-old girl was sold for sex.
Jamel Cameron used violence to keep the victim in line. He brandished a gun when she told him that she didn't want to work for him anymore.
Stephen Kneffler is the chief of the human trafficking unit at the Bronx District Attorney's Office. His team is responsible for prosecuting a sweeping 79-count indictment that uncovered a sex trafficking ring that preyed on victims across the country and brought them here to the Bronx to be solicited for sex. Among 10 people arrested is Tyshawn Green, a 48-year-old from the Bronx. He allegedly pimped out a 16-year-old girl more than 100 times.
Our victim in this case was recruited on a dating website called Tagged. He began pimping her out, trafficking her very shortly after that. She didn't know when she met him that she was going to be trafficked, but she knew that she was talking to a real person who said, listen, I can help you out.
Kneffler says that vulnerability of needing help is what traffickers feed off of to find their victims.
They run away from home. They are very much at risk of being trafficked because they will be approached on a park bench. They will be approached in the subway. And when a person offers them a place to stay, there are strings attached to that.
The DA's office has received 263 human trafficking referrals from July of 2020 to March of this year, but that number is likely way higher as many cases go unreported.
That traumatic bond that makes them very likely to return, forgive their trafficker, and not want to tell the truth about what's happening to them.
Kneffler says traffickers are also using social media platforms to pry on young victims. They encourage parents to monitor their teens' social media accounts, encourage them not to interact with any strangers online, and make sure their accounts are set to private.
Because that's how that thing can start. And honestly, you don't need to be on no dating app if you're a teenager. What are you doing on a dating app? You need to be in there on a quest for a map to find a way to get your life right. Read a book. I don't even care if you surf on the internet or whatever like that. But no, all of that dating apps, you shouldn't even be thinking about that right now. You ain't graduate yet. You're lucky. I ain't got no daughter. Oh boy, do your boy a favor, double tap that screen and get those likes up. Feel very terrible situation for all of the victims that had to deal with those people. And every time you see something like that, Lord, I just want to say, I hope that all of those girls find peace. And I hope that they find their ways back home and they find some security, because that's exactly what they're looking for when things like that happen. We ask that in Jesus' name, amen. Because we got to pray for people that are alive as well as the people that are no longer with us, because hopefully they can get some strength and resolve to get through the battles that they're going through currently. Keep on moving forward. We're going to go over to South Philadelphia, where this woman is describing this chaos after plexiglass that I told you guys about earlier. They were on some sort of a tubing inside of a cruise ship, and part of the tubing came apart, and a man, I don't even want to say the words, it's crazy. We everywhere right now with it. She's from Philadelphia, but she was on the cruise and she's explaining what happened. So let's get to that. Let's get to it.
Nightmare on board a cruise ship in the Bahamas. A man on a wild...
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more sweating all night.
Okay, so I guess they're gonna give me a cut of this.
The Tempur breeze feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
I guess I get a cut from Tempur-Pedic.
Savings up to $700 on select adjustable mattress sets.
A vacation nightmare on board a cruise ship in the Bahamas. A man on a wild ride as the water slide that he was on cracked beneath him. A South Philadelphia mom reached out to Action News. She was standing on the ship's deck and saw the whole thing.
Does the person fall out? Did the person fall out?
Water gushing from above, pouring down from a tube slide on board a Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas cruise ship after a passenger was injured by the cracked plexiglass tube.
Everybody was just frantic, and the staff ran over to the gentleman that was at the bottom of the slide now. And medics came and they put him, they didn't have a stretcher, so they put him on a wheelchair and they kind of just wheeled him away.
South Philadelphia resident Erica Hunt is on board with her whole family. Yesterday afternoon, she witnessed that incident, which sent panic throughout the entire ship.
We all went down. We were all on that slide that day. Minutes before, my son was actually waiting up in the line to get on that slide.
Royal Caribbean says it was an adult male passenger who was injured but stable. Was he a bigger guy? Do you think that had anything to do with it?
They do weigh you on the top of the slides before you get on. It doesn't say your weight. It just says red light or green light. Well, obviously, he got the green light and he went down.
Hunt says she believes this was an operations and maintenance issue.
The slide has been leaking for days.
Wow.
There's an adult pool right underneath, and it has been leaking. And I can confirm that. It's been leaking the whole trip right in that spot. So I think maybe it was just overlooked. Maybe it was already cracked and they missed it.
It's not the only recent scare on board the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas. On July 24th, Royal Bahama Police discovered a 35-year-old crew member who jumped overboard after stabbing a 28-year-old female coworker in the chest. She survived.
Yeah, we had that on. We did that. We covered that last week. Y'all remember that, right? Where he was basically trying to get away by jumping in the ocean. They thought that he fell in. Man overboard. No, he was trying to get away. Dun, 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 dun. It was like, nah, come on, get back here. Get over here. Nope, they went and got him. And then I think it was the Coast Guard came and brought him back. Let's keep on going, y'all. We got to get on over to Little St. James, where the lawsuit reveals details about Jeffrey Epstein's private island, where all this money's going. Because, there was a lot of money that was divided out to many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So let's get into this, y'all. Let's start stacking this deck. Let's go.
Victims. Little St. James off the coast of St. Thomas was privately owned by Epstein until his death in August. The local government is now suing his estate for control of it. It's also providing new details of how Epstein was able to get away with his alleged crimes for so long. Mola Lenghi is on a boat near Little St. James.
Well, good morning. There are really only two ways to get out to this island, either by helicopter or private boat. And that seclusion appears to have been by design, making it difficult for government officials to monitor Jeffrey Epstein's behavior here on the island, and even harder for the alleged victims who were brought here to escape.
Little St. James may look like a tropical getaway, but authorities say Jeffrey Epstein used the private island to hide his criminal activity.
So he felt that he can basically be protected, or
he could get away with things.
He can get away with it.
Denise George became Attorney General of the U.S. Virgin Islands just months before Epstein's death by suicide last year. Her office.
Oh, this is not current. Oh no, we go back. This is
EVE Online is a vast universe
alive with the unrelenting.
We go back and get current information and we build our case. This is not current because, of course, Jeffrey Epstein is no longer with us, but this is relevant information.
Office is now suing Epstein's estate.
Why pursue these sort of charges now?
Well, all I'll have to say is why not now? I cannot speak for what happened in the past at all. What I do know is that because of Epstein's wealth and power, he was able to conceal a lot of this.
Epstein acquired Little St. James in 1998 and nearby Great St. James 18 years later. The lawsuit seeks to confiscate Epstein's property, including the islands, valued at $86 million. The convicted pedophile registered as a sex offender in the Virgin Islands in 2010 after serving time in Florida for procuring an underage girl for prostitution. But George says monitoring Epstein on his island came with unique challenges for authorities checking up on him.
They were stopped at the dock and they were told that, no, this is as far as you can go because this is my private property and I will not allow you to go in any further.
Court documents allege Epstein flew into Cyril E. King Airport, the only airport on St. Thomas, and the same one we flew into earlier this week.
The area that the private jets fly in is separate and apart from where all of the commercial flights. And that also helps with the concealment.
From there, Epstein allegedly shuttled underage girls to the island using 2 helicopters. According to the complaint, air traffic controllers and other airport personnel reported seeing Epstein with girls who appeared to be as young as 11. The Attorney General tells us Epstein controlled all communication and transportation on Little St. James, and that his alleged victims were essentially trapped.
Remember, he owns a whole island, so it wasn't a situation where a child or a young woman would be able to just break away and run down the street to the nearest police station.
Epstein's island here is about 2 miles from St. Thomas. According to the lawsuit, one of his 15-year-old alleged victims was so desperate to escape, she actually tried to swim away.
Another of Epstein's alleged victims, who spoke to CBS News on the condition that we conceal her face and voice, tells us what she said happened to her.
He raped me. He brought me off the island, actually to his office in St. Thomas, and he actually raped me in his office. He also trapped me in his room on the island, where he had a gun strapped to the bedpost. I couldn't leave. The only means of getting off the island was either helicopter or boat.
And that's exactly what the guy said. Excuse me, guys. That's exactly what the reporter had just said earlier when it came to how to get on and off the island. That's what I want you guys to understand. And this person here is the one that set all that up with the 11-year-old, 12-year-old, and 13-year-olds and all of that. That's why that title says that. Why are we negotiating with the monster? There's a middleman. That's Geppetto right there. Ghislaine Maxwell. Keep on moving forward, right? Because now we got to keep on moving forward because her extraordinary claims from prison and how the conditions were for her when she was in federal prison, talking about how they're feeding her and all of that stuff, right? So back in 2 years ago when Ghislaine initially got arrested, she had, of course, not been able to live the posh lifestyle that she had been able to ascertain by doing the crimes that she was doing and by Jeffrey Epstein giving her all of the lavish monetary as well as the $5 million mansions and all of the money and everything, right? So now what she does is, yeah, these are the conditions where she was putting all of this stuff together. So this is Geppetto here. Let's go. Let's stack this deck and keep on going. I got a lot to cover, you guys. If y'all with me, let me know. Double tap that screen to get those likes up. If y'all like the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we got to keep on going.
It's behind the high walls and the barbed wire of Florida's Tallahassee Federal Correctional Institution.
Before she went to Bryant, I know.
Where sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell will spend the next 20 years.
No, she won't.
Famous for her high society connections, her toxic devotion to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, and for going on the run for a year. 61-year-old Maxwell now wears a new mantle. Inmate 02879-509.
And she should have stayed there.
Good morning, good morning.
Only reason I'm showing this is because just because she's complaining about these conditions when that happened, she deserved to stay there, number one. Number two, just because time goes by, I don't think that she should be able to go to a minimum because of the overall crimes that she did.
Morning. So
I don't care about the potato and whatever you get to eat. You're lucky you get that. What do we normally say to bad people? We don't care if you get this. We're going to feed your dog food or whatever like that. We normally say that, right? That's what I'm getting at.
what is that behind you?
It is a painting.
A painting.
Ghislaine Maxwell is nothing if not audacious.
How's it going?
Prison walls cannot stop her calling out what she considers a great untruths. Speaking for the first time since her conviction, Maxwell has chosen to talk to her brother Kevin in an interview brokered by producer Daphne Barak.
Everyone was always asking who is the real G, who's the real Ghislaine.
It's definitely not the person portrayed. I feel completely divorced from the person that people reference and talk about.
And so the biggest misconception of you?
That I'm the cruelest, meanest, horriblest person who's committed crimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I literally haven't seen any details that are accurate.
For many, it's a galling PR campaign by Maxwell and her brothers Kevin and Ian to set the record as they want the world to see it.
My sister is no monster. We believe in her innocence and that she'll be exonerated in the end.
Ask you about all the allegations that
Nope.
have come
The
out.
effort to rehabilitate their disgraced sister's reputation comes as the appeal against her conviction and sentence looms.
Do you feel safe in jail? Do you feel safe because there was threats on your life? So do you feel safe?
Yes, I feel safe. I would not know. I don't have any safety issues.
Because as you told me, jails are sometimes dangerous, and Giuffre Epstein died in jail. Do you believe that he committed suicide? Because many don't.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered.
Okay, guys, let's keep on moving because everybody, we not stupid. We know the same thing. And she tried to get out there in front of it so that she wouldn't get murdered next. So she's like making all this noise. Look at me, look at me. But guess what? Virginia did the same thing. And next thing you know, she got caught up. We got to keep on moving forward and keep stacking this deck. Y'all double tap that screen to get those likes up. We got to go over to Washington because the Justice Department has moved to unseal Maxwell's grand jury exhibits. Let's go ahead, y'all. They're trying to get all of the exhibits open. They're trying to get all of the stuff out to get to the bottom line of what the information is. So yeah, the Justice Department is subpoenaed to get it out.
We want to get to some breaking news now. The Department of Justice asked 2 New York judges to unseal grand jury exhibits tied to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Double
But
tap
before
that
that
screen,
happens, the DOJ wants to notify the people mentioned in the exhibits who weren't mentioned in the transcripts. So CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen joining us live now to break all of this down. So Jake, let's talk about what we know about the DOJ and what more we can learn from these exhibits that aren't in the transcripts.
Well, that's right. So the transcripts are just the testimony of a New York police detective and an FBI agent. And in court filings over the last couple of weeks, since the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi, Attorney General, have moved to unseal those, they've acknowledged that what is in that testimony is mostly out there in the public record or had already been in the public record through court proceedings for Jeffrey Epstein and obviously his associate Ghislaine Maxwell. What is has not necessarily been fully in the public record, the Department of Justice says at least, is what is in the exhibits. Potentially could be pictures, videos, other information. The Department of Justice saying in a court filing today that they are going to ask these judges who are overseeing both the Maxwell unsealing and the Epstein documents unsealing to consider to release these exhibits. They said they've asked until August 14th to give them some time to notify additional parties who are not already in those initial batches of training.
What about the high-end people, the high echelon people, the ones that, they're really trying to, go after and see what if they can get some information on them, i.e. Bill Clinton, i.e. Andrew over there. And also, you guys know Bill Gates, right? There you go down there. Whole bunch of different situations here. That's what I'm talking about. This is the information that they were going after.
This morning, Bill and Hillary Clinton are among more than a dozen high-profile Washington insiders subpoenaed in the escalating congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. After a bipartisan subcommittee vote last month, the Republican-led House Oversight Committee issuing subpoenas to several former top officials.
The American people have a right to know who else was involved, whether the system really was rigged in favor of the rich and powerful.
The list includes former Democratic Attorneys General Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, and Merrick Garland, and former Republican Attorneys General William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzales. Former FBI Directors James Comey and Robert Mueller also subpoenaed. Committee Chairman James Comer saying it is imperative that Congress conduct oversight of the federal government's enforcement of sex trafficking laws generally, and specifically its handling of the investigation and prosecution of Mr. Epstein. One name not on the list, Alex Acosta, the prosecutor who struck a controversial 2008 plea deal with Epstein in Florida. That deal allowed Epstein to avoid federal charges, serve only 13 months, and spend most days out of jail on work release. Acosta later served as labor secretary under President Trump until he resigned in 2019 amid fallout over the case. The House committee also demanding the Justice Department turn over every unredacted document related to the Epstein case.
Well, guess what? They did all of that. They stacked the deck. They put in everything. They tried to get all of this information. I'm not even going to play around. I get back to that in a minute. Let me send this back down here because now it's been denied. All of that work, everything that they're trying to do, it's been denied. One judge basically denied the request for Maxwell's record.
Federal judge denying the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury materials in Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal case. U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer says the grand jury materials do not identify anyone other than Jeffrey Epstein or Maxwell as having had sexual contact with a minor.
You heard that. So all of those other people they were basically claiming in all of the files, technically, this judge is saying, you don't need these files. You don't need her transcripts because the majority of the people, they were ex-trafficked or touched by Ghislaine or Epstein, not anyone else. You guys believe that crap? Let's keep on going.
The request came as Trump supporters pushed for more disclosures related to Maxwell and Epstein. So a bit of information in there, but it will not be made public, at least of now. If that Justice Department.
Yeah, so who did we miss on the list? We missed all these people that were supposed to be on this list here. We missed who? Let's start it off with all of the people that basically, as far as like people that accused of Jeffrey Epstein or accused Ghislaine Maxwell or had any dealings with it. This list right here is going to reveal, this is like a most shocking reveals from the Jeffrey Epstein list, kind of like what we already know, but just in a pictorial.
And Ghislaine Maxwell by one of their accusers, Virginia Giuffre.
She is asked, did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? She responds, he said one time that Clinton likes them young.
David Copperfield's dinner query. Famed magician David Copperfield is known for making the Statue of Liberty disappear, but he likely wishes he could make his association with Jeffrey Epstein vanish also. The illusionist was named a total of 6 times in the first batch of unsealed documents. The court transcript indicates that attorney Sigrid McCauley asked Epstein accuser Johanna Schoberg if she ever met David Copperfield. It was revealed that Copperfield dined with Epstein on several occasions with young girls present. It was also noted that he performed magic tricks.
He allegedly performed magic tricks for Epstein and several of his victims during the dinner at Epstein's townhouse in New York City in 2016.
Furthermore, Schoberg said that Copperfield asked if she was, quote, aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Copperfield's relationship with Epstein was previously uncovered in a 2019 article from the New York Times. The magician was also accused during the Me Too movement of assaulting a teen model in the late 80s, something Copperfield denies.
Copperfield said in statements on social media that he had been falsely accused of sexual misconduct in the past and was about to, quote, weather another storm.
A well-known prime minister.
In the past.
It was revealed in an unredacted 2014 filing that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to powerful men and world leaders. This included a, quote, well-known prime minister.
Previously deemed confidential includes references to familiar names, from politicians to celebrities, many of them previously linked to Epstein before his suicide in 20.
This is what I think the clarification should be made. These are the files that they're talking about. When it comes down to the names in the files, these are the files, right? But still, people want to know these names. So we're not talking about files. And then, of course, there's some addresses and names and things of sort. But I need you guys to understand that just because some of these people probably are in those lists, I don't think that necessarily means that everybody had something to do with, you know, the PED part. Because this guy right here, his big thing was knowing rich people, people that had a big, you know, with great power, you know, great power, you get a lot of people that come around you. So he was feeding off of that to get his little freaky thing going off. But I don't think everyone he had associated with or contacts with basically were PDFs, is what I'm basically trying to say.
2019. The document alleges that Epstein integrated the worlds of, quote, politically connected and financially powerful people for the purposes of, quote, business, personal, political, and financial gain. And, as it turned out, he also used girls to obtain blackmail information on them. The court filings indicate that victim Jane Doe No. 3 was sent to, quote, numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, and a well-known prime minister.
Maxwell directed her to have sexual contact with people including former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, Prince Andrew, and tech guru Marvin Minsky.
Following these encounters, Epstein would question her. She alleges that he would get her to, quote, describe the events that she had with these men so that he could potentially blackmail them.
It was like, yeah, what happened when you went over there? Tell me exactly. Remember this. That's what those coaches do, like prior what we saw dealing with the 16-year-olds. That's why they try to get them when they're young so they can train them crazy stuff like that. So now he's over there trying to get information, trying to find out how they can corrupt. Hey, I got something on you. Now you got to give me this. Now you got to give me that. Matter of fact, how did Jeffrey Epstein make all of that money? Let's find out. How did Victoria's Secret silently give Jeffrey Epstein billions? Anyone ever hear about Les Wexler? Let's get into that. We can keep on going on this if you guys want, but it's like, it's kind of heavy. It's a lot more in there. But I want to get over to Les to let you guys see how he actually ascertained all of his monetary and ill-gotten gains. So let's go over here to Victoria's Secret's, I think, what is his name? Les Wexner? Let's get into that.
Leslie Wexner built a retail empire. Jeffrey Epstein built a sex trafficking ring. And for 2 decades, their lives, fortunes, and secrets were deeply, shockingly intertwined. This is the story of how the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret became the man who gave Epstein power, protection, and maybe even cover the strange, scandalous bond between Leslie Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein. Let's set the scene. It's the late 1980s. Leslie Wexner is riding high. He's already a retail kingpin, founder of The Limited, owner of Victoria's Secret, and one of the richest men in America. But something's missing. Maybe it's excitement, maybe it's companionship, maybe it's just someone to trust with all his billions. Enter Jeffrey Epstein. Who exactly brought this guy in? That depends who you ask. But one thing is clear. Once Epstein entered Wexner's world, he didn't just become his money manager. He became his gatekeeper, his fixer, his shadow, his confidant, and maybe, just maybe, his greatest liability. How a Brooklyn math teacher got power of attorney over a billionaire. Jeffrey Epstein's resume was thin, to put it mildly. College dropout and former high school teacher, Epstein briefly worked at Bear Stearns before being forced out over irregularities with expenses and rumors of an
He created Bear Stearns.
inappropriate relationship with a secretary. But for what Epstein lacked in qualifications, he made up for in charm and manipulation. According to a 2021 Vanity Fair investigation, Epstein wormed his way into Wexner's orbit after convincing insurance mogul Robert Meister that Wexner's financial advisor was stealing from him. Epstein pitched himself as a bounty hunter for rich people's money, and Meister introduced him to Wexner. That one intro changed everything. Despite warnings from people close to him, Wexner handed Epstein the keys to the kingdom, literally. In July 1991, Wexner signed a power of attorney that allowed Epstein to hire and fire, buy and sell, borrow money, sign checks, anything in Wexner's name. You know, like, this isn't just like, oh, I trust you with all my investments. This was like, here's my whole life, from financial advice.
And we appreciate that right there, because what I'm just trying to do is give you guys an idea how he got his money. He got the money from that investor from Victoria's Secrets. we appreciate that content right there, as well as the provider that gave us all that great insight information right there. And that's why we do this. We go different places to figure certain stuff out and put it all together. This way, when the files actually do come together, you and I, we got more fat on our brains than everybody else. We know the whole lay of the land. We know who Les is. We know about little St. James. That's why we're doing this all the way up until we get, and as we get new information, I also make sure that we putting that in. Like the fact that we got this renowned forensic pathologist named Dr. Michael, who says the injuries that are consistent with the homicide when it comes down to Jeffrey Epstein's Dillsneth. It has nothing to do with what they're trying to say as far as the way that he had wrapped that thing around a little hole and tried to say that they made him a little his own hangman. No, they're basically saying that that's not the truth. And the person that actually did the autopsy was the same person that was on the what's that O.J. Simpson case and many others. His name is Dr. Michael Baden, and he's talking about the fact that they don't really think that well, he's not even saying really it didn't happen the way that people are saying. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Crime Network. I'm Linda Kenny Bonnet, and I am joined today by my very special guest. He's also a Fox News contributor, my husband, Dr. Michael Bonnet. Hi, honey.
Hello.
I'd
Good
lean
to
over
see
to
you.
kiss you, but I think I may violate some kind of sexual harassment rules or something. And of course, the major investigative reporter for this network, chief investigative reporter. He's also chief legal. He's everything you can imagine, and also a wonderful person to learn from, Brian Ross. Hi, Brian. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for asking me.
Thank you. So, Michael, you had an explosive interview this morning on Fox and Friends where you revealed what your findings were about Jeffrey Epstein, whether it was a homicide or a suicide, or whether it was consistent with a homicide or consistent with a suicide. I just want to tell you, without you explaining, it was a more consistent with a homicide, Jeffrey Epstein's death.
More consistent as from the information we now have as a homicide.
And indeed, one of the things you're showing us, and has never been seen before, is a diagram and a picture from the autopsy report, which we have actually here on the screen. The red arrows were added by me, by the way. Now, that was not the original, but it shows the fractures, the 3 fractures you discussed, 1 in the hyoid bone and 2 in the thyroid cartilage, if I get that right. And there you can see them. Look at them on and that's actually Jeffrey Epstein's hyoid bone on the right side of your screen, and the diagram of where the 3 fractures were on the left side of your screen. Could you show on Brian exactly where those are?
Yeah, the hyoid, the thyroid cartilage is the Adam's apple, and it sticks out more prominently in men. My finger's on Brian's Adam's apple. On either side of that are the 2 horns of the thyroid cartilage that were fractured. And above it, which you can't see or feel usually, is the horseshoe-shaped hyoid bone. There was a fracture of the left side of the hyoid bone and the left horn of the thyroid cartilage, and also the right horn of the thyroid cartilage. This usually does not happen in suicidal hangings because the ligature goes upwards underneath the mandible, the jawbone, which is a very tough bone, the jawbone, and doesn't fracture. And the ligature is often above the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage. In manual strangulation or ligature strangulation, when the rope is in the area of the thyroid Adam's apple, fractures can occur.
Okay, Michael, let me just stop you for a second.
All right, so basically we already know from the actual autopsy that it's not consistent with what they're trying to say as far as the suicide, the ooicide. Excuse me, it slipped. Do me a favor, you guys, double tap that screen to get those likes up if you appreciate the content. What else we got over here? We got Willie Wallace that says, okay, quick super chat. Thank you so much for the 5. He got 5 on it. We appreciate you, Willie. Thank you so much. Everybody, go ahead and tell Willie, thanks for the 5. I'm going to use that for some Starbucks because I'm sweating bullets up in here with this hot jacket on. We're going to keep on going forward because now we got to bring you guys some Prince Andrew information from his maid. And she was talking about how crazy he is and the way that he moves around, because sometimes we try to get the backstory of people so we can figure out the nature of the person that we're going into investigation about. So yeah, we got some information from his maid here that you guys might be interested in. So check this out.
many stories out there about Prince Andrew's inappropriate behavior, and his former maid is now adding her tales to the list. The 61-year-old Duke of York, who recently had his military titles, royal patronages, and his Royal Highness title revoked due to sexual assault allegations, is Queen Elizabeth's third child, and the most problematic. He was friends with disgraced financier Giuffre Epstein. And some of his reported mishaps include saying the N-word while talking with a senior political aide, spraying paint on reporters, and ramming open park gates instead of driving 1 mile farther to get home, per Vanity Fair. A former royal aide told the Daily Beast, "Everything you hear about Andrew's personality is true, and then some." Charlotte Briggs was 21 when she got the job, quote, "nobody wanted," which was being Prince Andrew's maid after he divorced Sarah Ferguson in 1996. Here's what she recalls from her time working for the royal. Briggs spoke with The Sun about how he acted and treated her, recalling one particular incident that got out of hand. It involved closing heavy floor-to-ceiling curtains for the Duke. She recalled, "He was a bit lazy, and he would call down from his office and say, 'Can you send the maid to shut the curtains?' One night I'd done it all. I walked back into the corridor and he came out screaming, 'Can't you do anything right?' I'd left a little gap where they met, but they were extremely heavy." Prince Andrew's screaming brought Briggs to tears. She further described how the royal was, quote, "extremely demanding," and how she often tried to hide while working for him. She said, "Andrew was just arrogant, and it's a shame because it probably ruined my experience." Charlotte Briggs followed up with the Daily Mail after her initial revelations regarding Prince Andrew and didn't mince words, saying, "I don't give a toss what Prince Andrew feels. He is a horrible, nasty man." Briggs said she felt encouraged to speak out against Andrew's behavior after she saw that his stuffed bear collection was mentioned on the news. Briggs was reminded of the meticulous way his 72 teddy bear collection was to be maintained, with the biggest bears in the back and the smallest ones in the front. His 2 favorite bears were kept on mini thrones by either side of his bed. According to The Sun,
Yeah, okay, I think that's enough about that part right there. That sounds a little crazy. What you doing with all them teddy bears, and then your wife done left you, and now you want them to be laid out on bed a certain way? Yeah, all right, whatever. I don't care about that. That's between you and whoever. Now we got a little more information on Freaky Deaky Andrew, where he's already been the effect of the rest of the royals, because everything that he does, basically, it affects the other part of the royal house. So King Charles, the mother, Queen Elizabeth, who basically ousted him from being a prince and no longer having any royal duties. It all affects them as well. So he's just been hell and high water ever since.
He is on quite a few of the front pages this morning, claims that he may never be able to return to America again because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Royal editor Russell Myers joins us now. A very good morning to you. I'm pretty sure he would have hoped that this was all behind him, but of course this follows days of fresh allegations from this new sensational book that's being serialized, and it's out this week.
Yes, indeed. Well, happy birthday, first and foremost, Ranveer. I know you don't like a fuss, so we'll move on to Prince Andrew, unfortunately. But yes, as you said, there have been a raft of new allegations. I mean, how many times have we said that over the years? But this new book by the historian Andrew Lowney, entitled The Rise and Fall of the Yorks, has pretty much ruffled feathers because, you know, not only allegations of Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with Prince Andrew, obviously his relationship with his old friend Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving a 20-year sentence in a high-security jail in...
If you guys don't know, the way that Jeffrey Epstein met the royal is through Ghislaine Maxwell. It seems like if you're not paying attention to all of these days that we've been here, the way in which to get to Epstein is Ghislaine. That's the lane to get to Epstein. So if it's royalty, if it's celebrity, that's what they were after. Let's go. And then whoever actually wanted to actually entertain in those categories, like some people, yeah, they would do such. Let's keep on going. Double tap the screen, y'all.
New York. But of course, other members of the family have been brought in as well. So, you know, what does this mean for Prince Andrew? We've said that a lot as well. But just a few weeks ago, the FBI did drop its investigation into him. However, lawmakers in the US are asking questions as to why that decision was changed. And I think we may see the lawmakers summoning the FBI agents to the Senate because they want answers as to why that was dropped, who made those decisions, and whether those decisions were made in the public interest.
So they're still making problems for Andrew at this point, you guys. They were still making problems for him. And then not on top of that, he had to pay $30 million for the lawsuit that he lost.
When property experts value your home at £30 million, but describe its condition as shocking and impossible to rescue, you know you've achieved that special kind of aristocratic decay that only comes with truly spectacular mismanagement. Welcome to Royal Lodge, Prince Andrew's Windsor Great Park fortress, where Georgian elegance meets 21st century scandal in a spectacular collision of architectural heritage and royal hubris. This Grade 2 listed mansion sprawls across 98 acres of some of Britain's most prestigious real estate, positioned 3 miles south of Windsor Castle, like a...
So they basically gave him a mansion, but you can't live with us. It's old, decapitated, decayed. There's nobody really taking care of it. Mold can be seen from outside. Andrew, how you living as an ex-prince? Even as an ex-prince, you should be living better than this.
Wayward younger sibling who's embarrassing the family, but refuses to move out. The 30-room Georgian gem presents a deceptively serene facade from its tree-lined approach, where visitors might mistake it for just another stately home, if not for the armed police units patrolling the perimeter and the subtle air of constitutional crisis hanging over the manicured lawns. The main house exemplifies Georgian architectural principles with its...
Yeah, and basically this is the person, that right there, they're going to talk about the money. I don't want to even wait for it. The $30 million that they had to basically pay to Virginia, who's no longer with us anymore. Virginia Giuffre, this person who I feel that this did not commit suicide. I think it had more to do with not wanting to pay that money out. Think about it like this. Would you rather pay somebody $30 million or would you rather give somebody some money to take care of the person that's trying to get $30 million from you? And then when you got all of these powerful people that want to silence you, yeah, the way that she lost her life, I would say is very questionable, and her family says the same thing.
The buck stops when every single monster gets held accountable.
So this was her whole mission statement. Virginia Giuffre, the first person and the one that really pioneered the entire situation.
The buck stops when every single monster gets held accountable.
Jeffrey Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre released from the hospital a week after saying she was on death's door. Virginia shared this photo from an Australian hospital bed on March 30th, saying she was hit by a school bus and was given only 4 more days to live.
There are some conflicting details in this, aren't there?
Yes, it's a bit confusing, Mary, because in her post online, Virginia Giuffre said that she's gone into kidney renal failure and is being transferred to a specialist urology hospital.
A source now telling People Virginia's been released from the hospital, though her current condition is a mystery, as her family believes her injuries might not be the result of that crash after all. Her brother telling the mag, "I do think that the bus crash in some way, shape, or form saved her life.
What y'all think?
Could have been a blessing in disguise."
Because I just let them know that I'm vulnerable and I'm their perfect type.
Virginia's been one of the most outspoken people against Jeffrey Epstein and his association with Britain's Prince Andrew, whom she claims she was sex trafficked by Epstein for.
People on the inside are going to keep coming up with these ridiculous excuses, like his arm was elongated, or the photo was doctored, or he came to New York to break up with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, come on. I'm calling BS on this.
But turns out she may have been facing new demons while battling her old ones. Virginia telling People she's in an abusive marriage for decades, when she's been trying to leave for months.
Yeah, so like I told you, Virginia is no longer with us. We pray for her soul and her family and the people that are victims in this terrible, tragic event, guys. We got to keep on moving forward because, like I told you, I got a lot to get into. We got to get into other people like Bill Clinton. This murky truth is about him dealing with Jeffrey Epstein as far as the photo, the portraits, just so many powerful people. And this is what I mean when I say the list. This is what I presume the list to actually have. These people, these individuals' names, because besides, I mean, let's say if it was a list. All right, you got a whole bunch of people named. What did they do? Think about that part. Once we do get the list, what did they do? Yeah, let's put it together. What did they do?
And once again, they're bringing some of the biggest names with them. This time, it's former President Bill Clinton who's getting caught in the spotlight. Now, Clinton has always denied ever setting foot on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous private island in the Caribbean, the one that's been at the center of disturbing allegations involving underage girls. But here's where things get murky. He did admit to flying on Epstein's private jet, the same one that got dubbed the Lolita Express, back in 2002 and 2003.
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
In his recent memoir, Citizen, Clinton finally spoke at length about the whole situation. He said he used Epstein's plane for work related to the Clinton Global Initiative, you know, humanitarian stuff. And he insists that all of this happened before Epstein was convicted of sex crimes in 2005. Here's what Clinton wrote. The bottom line is, even though it allowed me to visit the work of my foundation, traveling on Epstein's plane was not worth the years of questioning afterward. He added that he always found Epstein a little strange, but had no idea about the crimes he was committing. According to Clinton, the last time they were in contact was before Epstein's 2005 arrest. Clinton also claims he only met with Epstein privately twice, once at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse, and once at the Clinton Global Initiative offices in Harlem. But some photos and testimonies have raised eyebrows. For example, Clinton was once pictured getting a back rub from Chante Davies, a flight attendant on the Lolita Express who later became one of Epstein's accusers. She said the massage happened during a layover on a humanitarian trip to Africa.
I told you guys, it's just so many people that's linked into this. This one here is called The Murky Truth of Bill Clinton Epstein Connections. If you guys want to see the whole thing, that's what you can look up. The Murky Truth of Bill Clinton Epstein Connections. Most of the time, all we do here, you guys know we take 2 minutes. We don't want to reelsnate the content. We appreciate everybody that gives us that content. And that's why we only take about 2 minutes. But I got to give you guys what I can, as much as I can. Hey, let's get on over to India. I don't know if you guys like elephants, but we got this crazy situation where this elephant, kind of went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he started to follow this man. I don't know about the trills nampling part, but I know he definitely followed this man when this man got on his nerves when he was messing with him. I guess he was like beeping the horn at him for like getting in the way or something like that. And this guy don't understand, hey man, you don't beep your horn at a, 10,000 pound, whatever that is, 5,000 pound animal. So this is what happens. I think he probably even got out of his car and started running. Elephant tramples a man, hope I don't get in trouble for that, who took its photo during a traffic jam. Let's see if we can actually see this, y'all. You know, elephants, I guess, they do what they want to do when they are out and about in India. They can go in the back of the trunk, see if they find something they like. I mean, who's going to stop them? So he's over there while people are taking pictures, you know. I guess he's searching through. Who's going to tell him to stop? And he's using his tusk to pull back the, what is that, a canvas thing there. And then I guess somebody starts taking this picture as he already breaks into there, takes the food out because that's his tax. And you don't want to get too close during this time, especially while he's eating. And I guess one person got too close and thought it was funny. And this is the result, it's probably what happened right here. Because they're trying to go around. And I'll show you guys better content. But basically, this elephant right here, he charges a toll in India in order to go around him. And that's the toll. You got to give him some food. You got to give him something in order to go around. So that guy right there was trying to take his picture. And yeah, that's the last thing you don't want to do, guys. You don't want to, you just don't want to get too close. And I'm going to tell you, it's still going on. Well, I don't know what his name is, but this elephant is in India and he's still out there. I'm surprised nobody powwowed him because I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they look up to elephants in India and like certain places. They like worship them with the tusks and everything. Because yeah, he's still out there doing this, y'all. And basically what he's doing is he's making you have to pay a toll in order to get by. I don't know what you got to do for your phones or whatever like that, but check this out. This is the same elephant. He's basically charming his way into extra snacks. Check this out.
He uses his 4-ton body to create a roadblock and demand a toll.
He demands a toll.
When he receives a payment, he lets them pass. His persuasive charm has earned him a reputation.
So that's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go.
He's even been given a name, Raja.
The elephants are smart.
He knows which vehicles aren't worth bothering with.
He knows what vehicles.
And which have the potential to deliver a feast. He uses his 4-ton.
So hey, I don't know if y'all, whoever's going to India, y'all ever see the elephant on the side of the road that wants some dough or whatever like that? Make sure y'all got some bribery money. Y'all got something in your bag to pay Roger. Because Roger trying to get broke off. Roger not playing up out here. Y'all appreciate that content. Y'all appreciate what y'all saw today. Do your boy a favor and double tap that screen. And if you're trying to make some money, double tap that screen up. Get those likes up. Hit that notification bell, and come on, y'all, let's get those subscriptions up, and hit that, and go in the description right now and see if you guys will make some money off of one of those surveys. I think today there's about, what is that? I mean, let me see. I think there's about $650 worth of surveys inside of the description. So what you want to do is hit the link in the description. You're going to see 2 links that say fill out this survey or that one. You have 2 different options. I think one is about $450, the other one is $200. So that's why I always tally them up, and I always give you guys the grand total. I always try to put 2 surveys in there, so just in case one doesn't fit you, maybe the other one will. That's the thing about the surveys, and I saw somebody asking questions about it, so I wanted to make sure and explain it to you guys and how it goes. Also, if you're trying to promote and get your brand out there, get your music out there, or you got a lawn care business, I don't know if you do landscaping, whatever you do, send your links and your promotion over to bridgethisllc@gmail.com. That's our email address over here at the show. We will put up your post if it's in a 1080 by 1080 size. That's right. No matter what you do, barbecue, maybe you're a mobile detailer, you might do landscaping, send your information over to us and we're going to help you guys get promoted. And yes, we're closing in. We probably got another week on finalizing the location for the next location for the Show Your Talent search. That's the talent search where you, if you're talented, you got to go to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. Go down to the first page and hit that mailing list. Once you join the mailing list, you can be a part of the Show Your Talent search if you're in the 5 boroughs, Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. We're giving away $250 per borough to the best talented person. After we finalize on every borough, we're going to bring everybody together to Manhattan for one final location where someone will make $1,000. All of these are videotaped. We're putting it all up so everybody can see what's going on. And guess what? I'm sorry to do that. It's being hosted by who? Myself, BOOGOTTINYC, and it's sponsored by Big Drip Hard Punch. Also, the other host who we have is DJ Don Dada of Black Ink. You guys saw that the other day where she was performing, doing her 1s and 2s. We got a couple of clips of that up, as well as the tasting. So you guys go check out the video section. We got more going on besides live. We got a lot going on over here. So yo, you know what today is, right? It's another day that he gave us. Who am I talking about? The man upstairs. He gave us another day to get it right. Sometimes you might have problems, but understand something. With problems, there's always a opportunity and always a possibility to find resolve. So never look at the problem in a bad way. Always look at the problem like there's a solution here, and always strive for that, because guess what? The problem ain't going nowhere, but as long as he give us another day to bang at that nail to get it right, that's what we're going to do, you guys. That's what we're going to do. I go through it myself all of the time. Some days I'm stressed out. Some days I'm not. I go through, problems as well. I am human as well. So I'll be the first one to admit it. Mess up on sequences, mess up on certain things. But guess what? We got another day and another chance to get it right. And that's how we get better and we keep on perfecting it. You guys have a fantastic day. Drink some water. And with that being said, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me today, I appreciate you. I hope you had a great day. Lan Yen Bueno. Thank you so much, Liberty and Justice, for always coming through, showing love. Yes, Casey, the dude, that's my people right there. And everybody with those gloves, we appreciate you. Keep them gloved up. Double tap that screen. Go ahead and share and like and subscribe. And until tomorrow, y'all know what it is. Get 'em! Peace. 1.